Dive straight into the top story, the big story tonight. Amidst those repeated reports of safety issues with Spicejet flights, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation has cut the airline's flights by as much as 50%. This is going to be applicable for the next 8 weeks. The DGCA, as the regulator of the Indian aviation sector, has highlighted internal safety issues with Spicejet, also inadequate maintenance action. On its part, Spicejet has claimed that the order is not going to impact its flight schedules. Let's find out more from my colleague Samir Dixit. He has the details. Samir, it's a big move by the DGCA and stringent action being taken against Spicejet for the kind of safety snags that they've had to contend with and passengers have had to suffer. Tell us exactly what the DGCA wants from Spicejet in the next 8 weeks.
Yes, definitely. This is a big blow to Spicejet airline because we have seen that there was an audit that was going on for Spicejet airline, and as per the entire procedure, if you see, on 5th of July, Spicejet was given a show cause notice by the aviation regulator DGCA, and then Spicejet was asked to reply, and the reply was given on 25th of July. And seeking that reply, the aviation regulator, after getting all the audit done, it has ordered that for next 8 weeks, only 50% of departure is allowed to be operated for Spicejet airline. And not just this, the entire operations will be under enhanced surveillance. But yes, as per order, we definitely see that this is going to be a big blow for the airline. But the airline says, as per the official statement, they say that they are not going to have much impact on the operations because these 3 months are the month where the any airline, whether it be Spicejet or any other airline, they have a curtailed flight operations. Not much of flights usually take off, and because of the curtailed flight operations, there won't be having a much impact on flight operations. There won't be having much problem to the passenger or even those who have done advanced booking. But yes, there is a strict order that has been given by the aviation regulator, which will definitely have some impact on the airline, and this is not good for their image as well.
Yes, the brand definitely takes a hit. Safety concerns never bode well for the aviation sector as a whole, and when it's directed towards one particular airline, that can't really mean well as far as its standing is concerned within the aviation market. Also, just earlier this month, we heard from the CEO of Spicejet, Ajay Singh, had spoken, and when these incidents were taking place, he had dismissed them, saying that these are just minor issues. Just listen in exactly to what he said then.
15 वर्ष से स्पाइसजेट बिल्कुल एक सेफ एयरलाइन चला रहा है और आगे भी चलाता जाएगा। जिस तरह की हादसों की बात हो रही है, वो छोटे छोटे हादसे हैं, वो रोज प्रतिदिन एयरलाइंस में होते हैं। औसतन 30 हादसे रोज प्रत्येक दिन एयरलाइंस के होते हैं। उसमें एक आध हादसा या 2 हादसे जो स्पाइसजेट के होते हैं, वो मीडिया में आजकल दर्शाए जा रहे हैं। ये कहीं किसी भी रूप में सही नहीं है। आप अगर आज के ही हादसे देख लें, आप अनेकों हादसे देखेंगे बाकी एयरलाइंस के, तो ये हादसे होते हैं। इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि कोई भी एयरलाइन अनसेफ है। ये जब हजारों फ्लाइट होती है तो छोटे छोटे हादसे होते रहेंगे।
Chote hadse is what Ajay Singh has classified these incidents, the safety concerns that the DGCA has brought up, and not only brought up, but now stringent action is being taken. Let's get in perspective on this. Aviation expert Dhiraj Mathur is joining us. He, of course, an independent director and ex-partner at PwC, also retired IS. Great to have you with us, Mr. Mathur. The problem the DGCA seems to be highlighting over here, sir, is that the airline has insufficient technical support as well as insufficient financial resources to safely and efficiently run its operations. How correct is this assessment according to you? And is this restricted to just this one airline, Spicejet, or is the DGCA making an example of this airline for the chronic safety issues within the entire aviation sector in India?
Yeah, thanks for having me over. Yeah, it's a good question you ask. I think the answer is yes to all your questions. For the last one first, is DGCA making an example out of Spicejet? Probably. Because we've been having these incidents, not just with Spicejet, but the other airlines as well. And while, minor glitches do happen, and that is a fact that they do happen, the fact is that right now, all the airlines, not just in India, but across the world, are all facing a huge staff crunch. And, we all know why that is. During COVID, airlines laid off as much as 40 to 50% of their staff. And therefore, they do have a staff shortage. Second, there are staff, there are HR issues with staff being disgruntled. We're seeing this massive strike in Germany right now as we speak. So there are HR issues, there are issues of compensation that employees are unhappy about. So you have a shortage of staff, you have unhappy employees, and you have a huge spurt in demand. I mean, of course, June, July are slow months, but in May, Spicejet, for example, had a load factor of 89%. Everyone was over 85% or 80%. So there was a huge spurt in demand once the COVID restrictions were raised. There was a lot of revenge travel, revenge tourism. People had been cooped up for 2 years. And so you saw very good numbers in March, April, and May. So on the one hand, you had a shortage of staff. On the other hand, you had a spurt in demand. And all the airlines have bled financially, and Spicejet is no exception. So all these things combined, in the case of Spicejet, I think the financial situation is a little were more severe than it is maybe in the other one.
Yes.
So
yes.
all of this
in fact, I wanted to ask you about the financial constraints, Mr. Mathur. The DGCA has flagged Spicejet's financial condition, that it has led to shortage of spare parts. I understand there was a financial assessment carried out by DGCA.
Yeah.
This happened in September 2021, and that has revealed that the airline is operating on cash and carry, and suppliers and approved vendors have not been paid on a regular basis, which is leading to the shortage of spares. It came out in that notice, but tell us specifically about the financial constraints of airlines in India. How severe is it? We know about the high ATF prices. We know about the impact of the pandemic, which we know the aviation sector, the entire hospitality sector was hit hard by it. But how severe is it now?
Well, look, I mean, let's take Spicejet, for example. It's been incurring losses in the last 3 years. In 18-19, it incurred a loss of 300 crore rupees. And in 2021, that went up to almost 1,000 crore rupees. So, and all the airlines did suffer financially during the COVID period. Now, if we look at the airline sector as a whole in India, obviously ATF is a major source of financial stress for all airlines, accounting for 40% of operating costs, and with prices, amongst the highest in the world. So the airlines is a unique sector in India, where if you look at the supply chain, the value chain, everyone except the airlines in the aviation sector makes money. The airport operators make money, the ground handling companies make money, the oil companies make money, everyone. And they're all paid by the airlines. And the airlines make losses. So they have all the risk, very high capex, very thin operating margins, a very competitive sector in India.
Yes.
And so the point is, it's not just the ATF, the entire environment as it is sort of stacked up against airlines. And we've seen a number of airlines go under on account of financial stress.
This is true. And that kind of pressure has been building up over a period of time, Mr. Mathur. How much that is going to reflect in times to come over the quarters that get reported. That also is something that investors are looking at very closely. The brand also takes a huge hit when the safety concerns, as often as we've heard of them, that is definitely going to come into play. So the aviation sector as a whole, from the many views, including yours that I understand, will have to get its act together. And this, like you're saying, the DGCA may be making a case out of Spicejet, but perhaps more action couldn't bode well for the aviation sector, but it certainly does for airline safety and safety in Indian skies. Thank you very much, Mr. Mathur. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. We'd have loved to continue this discussion. Yes, certainly. Mr. Mathur, please finish your point.
Yeah, I mean, there is no cause for panic.
Yes.
Indian aviation is safe.
Right.
All right. This is a turbulent patch that we're going through.
Well, we certainly hope so. Going by this action, it does create doubts. But of course, the safety incidents have been coming in thick and fast, which does raise those concerns. But thank you very much for clarifying that too. Mr. Mathur joining us on the aviation sector and the action that the DGCA has taken against Spicejet. 50% of its flights can't be operated is what the regulator now says, and this for the next 8 weeks.